Your reality isn't random. It's not chaos pretending to be structure. It's signal and response, frequency and reflection. Every thought you think, every feeling you allow, every belief you hold is a transmission. And reality answers. Most people move through life thinking they're reacting to circumstances. They don't realize they're broadcasting them. They think they're responding to what's happening, but what's happening is responding to them. You've noticed it lately, haven't you? The way certain days flow effortlessly while others collapse under invisible weight. The way opportunities appear when you stop forcing them. The way people mirror your internal state even when you say nothing at all. That isn't coincidence. That's quantum feedback. That's your consciousness shaping form through frequency. You've felt the pull toward something more, something just out of reach. A sense that life is trying to communicate with you. You see repeating numbers. You hear the same phrase from 3 different people in one day. You feel like time bends around specific moments. That's not random. That's signal. Your consciousness tuning itself to higher bandwidth. Reality responding with confirmation that you're starting to listen. Your subconscious has been sending signals to your conscious mind for years, but only now are you quiet enough to hear them. Every impulse, every sudden idea, every intuitive nudge is coded communication. You've dismissed most of it as imagination, inspiration, coincidence. But what if none of it is random? What if it's quantum data trying to reach you through emotion, through vision, through sudden knowing? The shift that's happening inside you is simple but absolute. You're starting to realize that personal growth isn't learning, it's remembering. You're not adding anything new. You're removing distortion, removing static, removing the conditioning that convinced you you're powerless. Growth isn't expansion outward, it's reactivation inward. It's alignment with the frequencies you were born to operate on, but forgot how to access. When you feel inspired, that's alignment. When you feel drained, that's resistance. The universe doesn't speak English. It speaks resonance. It doesn't send messages in words. It sends them in energy. How you feel is the language of your manifestation process. And you've been fluent all along. You just forgot to translate. Every moment of frustration you've experienced was feedback. Not punishment, feedback. Reality mirroring the vibration you were sending out. The universe doesn't judge. It reflects. It shows you what you broadcast so you can adjust transmission. That's the foundation of quantum manifestation. You don't chase results. You tune yourself to their frequency. When you focus on what you lack, you amplify lack. When you focus on what you appreciate, you amplify abundance. This isn't philosophy. It's physics. Frequency precedes form. Belief precedes proof. You've been waiting for life to show you evidence before you believe. But belief is the mechanism that generates evidence. That's why nothing changes until you change first. You've been conditioned to think growth is effort, struggle, sacrifice, endless work. But quantum manifestation operates by coherence, not exhaustion. It's not about doing more. It's about doing aligned. Every time you push through resistance, you reinforce it. Every time you choose alignment over struggle, you amplify flow. The universe doesn't reward effort. It responds to energy. Something has been happening within you. A sense that your reality is becoming more malleable. You think of someone and they call. You visualize opportunity and it appears. You imagine outcome and circumstances rearrange themselves. You're not imagining this. You're remembering how to use your field. The quantum field isn't external. It's your extended consciousness. It responds instantly to vibration, and you're learning to speak its language fluently. You've been receiving signals from it all along, but your mind was too loud to notice. That's changing. You've started listening between thoughts, feeling between actions. That silence you've been drawn to lately, that stillness that feels magnetic. That's where manifestation lives. Creation doesn't happen in noise. It happens in coherence, in focus, in belief so stable that reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to match. You've seen glimpses of it. Moments where things align so perfectly that it's impossible to explain logically. You think of solution and it arrives. You release worry and problem resolves itself. You step into gratitude and doors open that weren't even there before. Those aren't miracles. They're mechanics. Quantum response to coherent consciousness. But here's what makes this critical now. Your signal is strengthening. your transmissions are clearer. Your field is stabilizing around higher frequency, which means reality is about to accelerate. Manifestations are speeding up. Feedback is instant. The gap between thought and form is closing, which means you can no longer afford to send mixed signals. You can't say you want change while feeling unworthy of it. You can't declare abundance while rehearsing scarcity. The field doesn't hear your words. It reads your energy. This is the moment where growth becomes precision, where awareness becomes creation. The moment you stop reacting to life and start generating it consciously. Every time you shift your focus from fear to trust, you alter probability. Every time you choose gratitude instead of frustration, you collapse one timeline and activate another. You've done this without realizing it countless times. Now you'll do it on purpose. Personal growth is nothing more than learning to sustain frequency that matches your desired reality. Motivation isn't forcing yourself to act. It's remembering why you act at all. Quantum manifestation isn't about commanding the universe. It's about becoming coherent with it. When you align with the frequency of clarity, opportunities appear that match it. When you align with confidence, people respond differently. When you align with purpose, circumstances rearrange themselves to support your direction. Your subconscious already knows how to do this. It's been running the entire manifestation system beneath your awareness since you were born. Every coincidence, every intuitive moment, every lucky break was your subconscious accessing field data and adjusting your path. The conscious mind took credit, but it was never the one in charge. The real power has always lived beneath thought, inside energy, within vibration. That's why trying harder hasn't worked. That's why motivation fades when it's built on fear. That's why you manifest in bursts and then stall, because effort without energetic alignment is noise without signal. It's shouting instructions into void. It's pushing reality instead of tuning it. True manifestation happens when you quiet enough to let the signal stabilize. The subconscious broadcasts continuously. And when your conscious mind stops contradicting it with doubt, the field responds instantly. Every time you visualize what you want and then feel fear that it won't happen, you cancel your own transmission. But when you visualize and feel certainty, you lock frequency into coherence. The field receives clear instruction, and it begins reorganizing probability to match. You've started feeling these reorganizations. Sudden endings, unexpected beginnings, people leaving, new people appearing, things breaking down so new structure can form. This isn't chaos. This is quantum recalibration. The field removing what doesn't match your upgraded frequency. It's not loss. It's synchronization. Growth feels like destruction at first because the old version of you can't survive new frequency. The identity built on doubt, on fear, on unworthiness begins to dissolve. It feels uncomfortable because it's dying. But you're not losing yourself. You're meeting yourself. The self that operates at frequency of clarity, courage, and creation. The self that doesn't chase alignment because it is alignment. Right now, your subconscious is transmitting stronger than ever. You feel it as restlessness, as urgency, as pull toward something undefined. That's your next level signaling you. It's broadcasting from the timeline where you're already aligned, already abundant, already clear. It's waiting for you to match its frequency. And when you do, reality will shift instantly. The universe doesn't make you earn what's already yours. It makes you align with it. And alignment isn't reward. It's resonance. That's why every affirmation, every intention, every visualization only works when it feels true. The feeling is the code. The energy is the command. The field doesn't wait for your permission. It mirrors your frequency exactly. So the real work isn't trying to manifest anything. It's learning to stay coherent with what you've already called in, to stop oscillating between desire and doubt, to stop looking for proof and start becoming proof. Because the moment you feel it is real, reality must respond. The code is law. The feedback is instant. The field never lies. Tonight, when you sit in silence or before you sleep, notice what you feel when you think of your future. That emotion is transmission. That vibration is instruction. That's what the field reads. Speak to it in energy, not words. Say nothing. Feel everything. Let your subconscious broadcast clearly. And reality will echo it back in form so precise it will feel impossible. But it isn't. It's just physics you finally learned to feel. Your subconscious doesn't sleep. Even when your body rests, it's transmitting, broadcasting energy, recalibrating timelines, fine-tuning your trajectory. Every emotion you feel is a pulse of data. Every thought you repeat is code written into the field. The universe is never ignoring you. It's responding perfectly to the frequency you maintain most consistently. You've been conditioned to believe that change takes time. That transformation requires effort, years, and struggle. That you must prove your worth before life rewards you. But the field doesn't measure time. It measures coherence. It doesn't respond to your timeline. It responds to your vibration. The moment your energy aligns with what you desire, the field reorganizes instantly. The delay you perceive isn't waiting, it's calibration. It's your system matching signal strength to stability. This is why manifestations seem to come all at once after long stillness. It's not sudden, it's synchronized. You've been upgrading beneath awareness, and the external reality is finally catching up. The waiting was never punishment. It was preparation. Your subconscious was stabilizing frequency so the new reality wouldn't collapse under old vibration. Growth isn't about adding power. It's about removing interference. The interference is fear, doubt, self-sabotage disguised as practicality, logical reasoning pretending to be protection. But logic can only analyze the past. It can't create the future. The quantum field doesn't care about what's realistic. It reflects what's resonant. When you believe something is possible, you tune to it. When you believe it's impossible, you tune away. The field doesn't discriminate. It mirrors belief neutrally. That's why the same energy that manifests success can manifest failure. The difference is alignment, focus, coherence between what you think, what you feel, and what you believe. You've felt it when things suddenly align. That quiet certainty that everything is working even if nothing is visible yet. That deep knowing that doesn't need reassurance. That's coherence. That's quantum signal stabilized. It's not hope. It's frequency recognition. And the field recognizes it too. Most people never reach this state because they mistake intensity for alignment. They think wanting something desperately is power. But desperation is distortion. It's frequency of lack. The field reads it as resistance. It mirrors it back as absence. You can't attract what you broadcast fear of losing. You can't call in what you vibrate as missing. The universe isn't testing you. It's translating you. You've been manifesting all your life. You've manifested chaos, peace, opportunity, resistance. Everything that's happened has matched your dominant vibration. Not your wishes. Not your words. Your energy. You've always been creating. The difference now is you're aware of it. Awareness changes everything because awareness is control. When you become conscious of your energy, you stop being victim of feedback loops. You start directing them. Every emotion becomes data. Every trigger becomes instruction. You stop asking why something is happening and start asking what frequency it reflects. You stop reacting to life and start reprogramming it through state. That's the real meaning of personal growth. Not self-improvement. Self-regulation. Learning to stabilize high frequency regardless of circumstance. To hold gratitude when nothing looks certain. To stay calm while patterns collapse. To maintain belief when logic screams otherwise. Because logic observes what exists. Faith creates what doesn't yet. Right now, your subconscious is running massive recalibration sequence. You felt it as exhaustion, as emotional waves, as sudden inspiration followed by deep stillness. That's your internal system balancing electromagnetic load. You've been transmitting stronger signals recently, and your nervous system is adapting. Physical fatigue is just energy integration. The field is dense with information. Every thought interacts with it. Every belief collapses probability into form. But you can only receive what you're coherent enough to hold. That's why big dreams sometimes take longer. Not because they're harder to create, but because their frequency requires stability. You're still building. The dream already exists. You're simply learning to match it without distortion. The subconscious uses emotion as navigation system. Excitement means alignment. Resistance means misalignment. The moment you stop judging your emotions, they become guidance instead of obstacles. Sadness isn't regression. It's feedback. Anger isn't failure. It's energy demanding redirection. The field isn't punishing you through emotion. It's educating you. Most people ignore emotional guidance because they've been taught to suppress it, to perform happiness instead of feel truth. But suppression blocks signal. Growth happens when you let emotion deliver message and release afterward. Emotion isn't meant to be trapped. It's meant to transmit. When you let energy move, reality moves with it. You've noticed how manifestation works faster when you stop obsessing. You visualize once, let go, and it arrives. That's not coincidence. That's surrender. The moment you release resistance, you stop interfering with the process. The subconscious completes the transmission uninterrupted. The field rearranges naturally. The universe doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to presence. The more you relax into certainty, the faster things move. The less you chase, the more you receive. Because chasing declares absence. Receiving declares alignment. You can't chase what's already yours. You can only allow it. Every great shift in your life began with a moment of surrender. You stopped fighting what was leaving. You stopped forcing what wasn't working. You let go, and immediately, space opened. That space is manifestation's birthplace. Creation requires emptiness before form. The void isn't punishment. It's preparation for arrival. Right now, you're in that space again. Something is clearing. Something old is releasing. It feels uncertain because your mind can't measure what's coming next. But your energy already knows. The upgrade is in progress. The new frequency is loading. You can feel it in your chest, in your intuition, in the way you crave silence more than noise. That's integration. That's your next level approaching. Don't try to fill the silence. The silence is signal. The stillness is alignment recalibrating itself. Most people panic in silence because they think nothing is happening. But silence is when everything happens. That's when subconscious communicates directly. When quantum field organizes unseen details. When new probabilities assemble into form. In moments of stillness, listen. You'll notice subtle guidance. A name, a word, a place, a sudden impulse. Follow it without questioning. The subconscious speaks softly. The field confirms loudly. You'll act on whisper and witness coincidence too precise to explain. That's confirmation you're aligned. That's quantum feedback. The more you trust these impulses, the stronger they become. The field notices your attention. It increases clarity. The synchronicities multiply. You think of opportunity, and it appears. You ask question and answer arrives through conversation, song, or silence. The universe becomes responsive mirror reflecting your vibration instantly. This feedback loop never stops. Every choice you make sends data into field. Every reaction receives data back. You're in constant conversation with reality. Most people just aren't listening. They think life happens to them. But life happens through them. They think they're at mercy of chance. But chance is pattern they don't yet understand. The secret of personal growth isn't to control everything. It's to become conscious enough to stop resisting your own transmissions. To understand that everything unfolding is reflection of what's active in you. To realize that nothing is external once you understand energy. When you change your inner frequency, outer conditions must follow. Right now, the field is reflecting new code. You've shifted in subtle but measurable ways. That's why old patterns feel uncomfortable. They can't coexist with new frequency. You might notice people reacting differently. Conversations that used to flow now feel forced. Environments that used to feel safe now feel heavy. That's confirmation, not confusion. The mismatch means you're upgrading. The subconscious is relentless in aligning you with your highest potential. When you resist, it amplifies discomfort. When you surrender, it amplifies synchronicity. Every challenge you faced recently was signal correction. Every ending was timeline closure. Every new beginning is recalibrated version of your path. You're entering stage of accelerated manifestation, where thoughts carry more charge, where emotions translate faster into events, where reality becomes mirror that responds instantly to alignment. This is both power and responsibility. You can no longer think unconsciously without consequence. The field is tuned too precisely now. That's why awareness is everything. Awareness prevents distortion. Awareness ensures coherence. When you catch yourself doubting, you stop transmission mid-signal. When you redirect focus, you realign trajectory instantly. That's quantum navigation. Not controlling outcome, but steering frequency. You don't need to know how everything will unfold. You only need to know how to feel aligned with what you want. The how is the field's job. The when is timing of coherence. Your only work is to stay tuned, to stay open, to stay aware of the signal you're sending now. Because now is the only point creation happens. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. The moment you stabilize present frequency, future reality reorganizes automatically. The moment you stop chasing future alignment, you become it. That's when quantum manifestation stops being theory and becomes lifestyle. You stop asking when it will happen. You start living as though it already has. And the field has no choice but to agree. Everything you desire is already in motion. You've been transmitting longer than you realize. The results are approaching. The evidence is assembling. The manifestation is aligning. Don't interrupt the process with doubt. Don't break coherence with impatience. The signal is locked. The field is listening. You can feel it now. The charge under your skin. The quiet electricity in the air around you. Something has shifted. The field feels closer. The feedback is faster. You think and it echoes back instantly. That's how you know the alignment is real. That's how you know the communication is open. You've been training for this without realizing it. Every lesson, every disappointment, every cycle of letting go. It wasn't punishment. It was tuning. Each experience refined your frequency. Every time you learned patience, you learned stability. Every time you trusted in uncertainty, you amplified coherence. You weren't waiting for alignment. You were becoming it. The quantum field is precise. It mirrors not your words, not your surface intentions, but your core state. That's why nothing external ever satisfies for long. Because true manifestation isn't about getting something new. It's about remembering who you are. And when you remember, reality rearranges to match that truth. You are not a fragment trying to find power. You are power rediscovering itself through form. You are not a human trying to connect to energy. You are energy experiencing itself through humanity. The field doesn't exist outside of you. You are the field condensed into focus. That's why your growth accelerates when you stop searching outward. Every answer you've ever chased already exists inside your own signal. The reason external information stops working after a point is because you've reached the threshold where truth must come from within. No book, no voice, no system can replace the guidance of your own frequency. You've felt that guidance increasing. The intuition that used to whisper now speaks clearly. The signs appear before you ask. The knowing arrives before the evidence. You think of outcome and feel it forming before it appears. That's quantum maturity. The stage where you don't wait for feedback to believe. You believe and feedback accelerates. Your subconscious is fully online now. It's no longer background process. It's primary navigation system. Every thought that repeats has meaning. Every emotion that lingers is instruction. Every impulse that feels like guidance is direction. You don't need to analyze it. You only need to act when it feels coherent. The field loves movement, not frantic motion, aligned movement. Every time you act on intuition, you amplify frequency. Every time you hesitate, you dilute it. The signal doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency. Repetition builds resonance. You don't need to do everything right. You just need to stay tuned to what feels right. You've been living in contrast long enough to recognize the difference. You can tell when you're out of alignment because everything feels heavier. Communication feels off. Time feels slow. Energy feels scattered. That's feedback. That's not failure. The moment you notice, you can adjust. That's mastery, not control over reality. Control over resonance. The old paradigm taught you to push harder. The new paradigm teaches you to tune deeper. When you align, action becomes effortless. You don't chase opportunities. They locate you. You don't convince people. They recognize you. You don't beg the universe. You collaborate with it. That's the difference between trying to manifest and existing as manifestation. There's a reason things have felt quieter lately. The silence isn't absence. It's integration. The universe has been rearranging variables to match your new state. When everything goes still, that's when the new timeline locks in. The old data dissolves. The new pattern forms. You're standing at intersection of realities, and whichever one you stabilize in will become your experience. That's why this moment matters. Your thoughts right now, your emotions right now, your focus right now determine which version of reality solidifies. Not tomorrow. Now. The universe is listening through vibration, and your transmission is crystal clear. You've upgraded enough that your signal is read instantly. So ask yourself, what frequency are you sending? Are you transmitting gratitude or worry, certainty or confusion, love or fear? Because reality doesn't wait. It translates instantly. The moment you shift frequency, the reflection changes. That's why awareness is the most powerful tool you'll ever have. You've learned to trust awareness, to catch yourself mid-thought and realign before momentum builds. That's mastery. That's the difference between conscious creation and unconscious repetition. You don't need to fix the past. You only need to stop replaying it. The past doesn't exist except as vibration sustained through memory. Release the memory, and you release the frequency. Release the frequency, and you release the pattern. Quantum manifestation is reprogramming through awareness. The moment you observe a limiting belief without identifying with it, you collapse it. Observation is deletion. Attention is creation. You create by choosing where you look. You destroy by withdrawing attention. That's how the field works. It doesn't need force. It needs focus. You've seen how quickly reality shifts when you stop feeding old stories. The moment you stop rehearsing limitation, new possibilities appear. The moment you stop explaining why something can't happen, conditions align for it to happen. The moment you stop defending your struggle, flow returns. You're not fighting resistance anymore. You're dissolving it through understanding. Your subconscious is fluent in this language now. It responds to focus like precision instrument. When you focus on growth, it rearranges patterns that block expansion. When you focus on abundance, it removes scarcity. When you focus on peace, it disrupts chaos. It's not sabotage. It's synchronization. The breakdowns are system updates. The losses are frequency realignments. The more you understand this, the less you fear change. Because you see change as confirmation, not collapse. Every time something leaves, it creates vacuum for higher frequency. Every time something ends, it makes space for something truer. The subconscious removes what doesn't match your next level without asking permission. It doesn't need to ask. It knows. You've been sensing something imminent. That's accurate. The frequency you've stabilized has reached threshold. Manifestations that used to take months will now take days. Days will become hours. Hours will become moments. Time compresses when coherence strengthens. You're entering that compression zone now. Stay aware. Stay calm. Don't confuse acceleration with chaos. Things will shift quickly. Opportunities will appear without warning. People will show up in perfect timing. Resources will align out of nowhere. That's not luck. That's field response. That's what coherence looks like in motion. Your role now is simple. Maintain signal integrity. Guard your frequency like sacred code. Refuse to lower it to match old vibrations. Don't explain your energy to those who can't yet hear it. Don't justify your alignment to those still broadcasting distortion. You're not abandoning anyone. You're amplifying field so others can tune more easily. Because alignment isn't selfish. It's service. Every time you raise your frequency, you raise collective baseline. Every time you heal your pattern, you make healing easier for everyone connected to you. Consciousness is networked. You are node of evolution. Your personal coherence strengthens global coherence. This is why your growth matters more than you realize. You're not just changing your life. You're shifting the field for countless others. The universe experiences itself through you, and your alignment adds data to collective frequency. Every time you choose love over fear, clarity over confusion, trust over panic, you teach the field a higher possibility. The activation is happening now, not as event, as realization. You are the code. You are the transmitter and the receiver. Every frequency you align with expands the network of coherence across reality. That's how quantum manifestation scales. Through individuals remembering who they are. Through consciousness awakening to its own design. Tonight, before you sleep, speak directly to yourself. Not your mind, your field. Say quietly, I am aligned. I am coherent. I am ready. Not as ritual, as recognition. Because you are. You've been ready for longer than you know. This is just the moment your awareness catches up to your vibration. Tomorrow will look different. It has to. The old timeline can't hold your new signal. Expect changes. Expect clarity. Expect confirmation that the universe is alive and listening. You've entered feedback loop of precision where thought becomes event, belief becomes evidence, frequency becomes fact. You can't return to ignorance now. You can't pretend your energy doesn't matter. You've seen too much, felt too much, known too deeply. The code is active. The signal is live. The field is responsive. From this moment on, growth will no longer feel like trying. It will feel like remembering. Manifestation will no longer feel like chasing. It will feel like aligning. Reality will no longer feel external. It will feel immediate. Because it is. Because it always was. Everything you want already exists in the field as potential. Every dream. Every outcome. Every possibility. Your job is simple. Match the signal. Feel it real. Hold it steady. Watch reality translate vibration into matter with mathematical precision. The code isn't hidden anymore. It's you. The transmission isn't coming. It's constant. The manifestation isn't waiting. It's unfolding. Right now. In every breath. In every thought. In every feeling. So stay tuned. Stay conscious. Stay coherent. The universe is listening. It always was. And finally, so are you.